Just when you thought you could turn your back and walk away, the dark cloud of human indignity follows you. You have no choice but to turn and look it in the eye. It's the sex offender hit list.
Over to Indiana. A previously registered sex offender is facing charges after an incident involving a 12-year-old child. The Greene County Sheriff's Office received a report of a missing 12-year-old girl. Her family told police the girl met an older man on the internet and, using Snapchat, made plans for him to pick her up. Police said the girl returned home not too long after the report was filed, but they immediately launched an investigation and tied those messages back to 43-year-old Bernardo Tapia. Police said he picked up the 12-year-old from her home and took her to a motel in Bedford. Tapia was arrested and charged with child molestation and rape. The Greene County Sheriff's Office says the case is under investigation and he could possibly face additional charges there. Tapia is already registered as a sex offender in Santa Clara, California, according to the state's website. He's in the registry in California for sexual battery, lewd, or lascivious acts with a child under the age of 14, as well as attempted distribution of harmful matter depicting a minor sent to the minor via the internet or email, and one count of sending, selling, or distributing obscene matter depicting a minor. A Massachusetts man has been arrested on child sexual abuse material charges, according to the police. 22-year-old Jefferson Tanamaza of Milford was held on $10,000 bail after his arrest on Wednesday, according to the Milford police statement there. Tanamaza is charged with child sexual abuse material possession and dissemination, and he's scheduled to be arraigned in Milford District Court on Thursday. His arrest follows a month-long investigation by Milford detectives and the Massachusetts State Police Cybercrime Unit Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force. See ya, Chomo.
Let me out of here! Let me out of here!
Alright, you talk about Chomo and a half here. It's an Indiana man here who once sent a 12-year-old girl creepy messages after installing a furnace in her family's house. Well, he now is facing up to 19 counts of child exploitation following new allegations. The Fishers Police Department said that Kenneth L. Fox of Brazil was arrested on September 23rd on 19 preliminary counts of child exploitation, which is a level 4 felony. Charges have not been yet officially filed in the case and must be filed by the Vigo County Prosecutor's Office. We know what's going to happen, though. According to the Fishers Police, the Hamilton County Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force began investigating Fox after a cyber tip. Investigators ended up accessing several social media accounts tied to Fox, which allegedly contained numerous files of child sexual exploitation material. Police said that during the investigation, it was also discovered that Fox was the target of another Texas police investigation due to him already allegedly planning to travel to Texas to engage with sexual acts with another minor. Fox is currently being held in Montgomery County Jail in Texas. Wisconsin. 3 people were arrested on child sexual abuse material charges after investigations by the Coulee Region Children's Internet Protection Task Force. On October 2nd, members of the task force conducted search warrant investigations into the possession and distribution of child sexual abuse material. The investigations were the result of cyber tips received from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I'm going to start from the left here. This is 65-year-old David Baltz. He was arrested by the Onalaska Police Department on a recommended charge of possession of child sexual abuse material. Then center, we've got 44-year-old Jeffrey Laub, and he was arrested by the La Crosse Police Department on a recommended of charges of possession of child sexual abuse material, sexual exploitation of a child, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Then last but not least, over on the right, we have 52-year-old Michael Harrison, and he was arrested also by the La Crosse Police Department on a recommended charge of possession of virtual child pornography. Harrison is listed as a lifetime registrant on the Wisconsin Department of Corrections Sex Offender Registry also. See ya, three chomos.
I'd like to know what dirty stone pigeon squealed on me.
California. The Porterville Police Department says that 34-year-old Marty Joe Clayton Lester Jr. was arrested after detectives received the tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And after an investigation, detectives found evidence that Marty was the one who was uploading and downloading child sexual abuse material. An arrest warrant was issued and detectives performed a search warrant with members of the ICAC task force at Marty's house on Wednesday. They found multiple electronic devices and they're keeping them as evidence. Mr. Marty Lester here was arrested for distribution of child sexual abuse material, possession of child sexual abuse material, and sexual exploitation of a minor. Lester was later booked at the Tulare County South County Detention Facility, where he's being held without bail. This is Thomas G. Rutledge of Green Lane, Pennsylvania, and he began talking to a child over Snapchat, according to the Bergen County prosecutor Mark Musella. Rutledge was a stranger to the child and engaged in sexually explicit conversations with him. The Teaneck police were tipped off to an incident of luring. An investigation conducted by the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office identified Rutledge as the suspect. The Department of Homeland Security Investigations, and the Pennsylvania State Police were notified. Rutledge was arrested at his house on Tuesday, September 24th, and was charged with second-degree luring and third-degree endangering the welfare of a child, and remanded to the Bucks County Correctional Facility in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, pending extradition to Bergen County, New Jersey. See ya, chomo.
I'm gonna give you solitary confinement for 99 years.
Just take a look at the look on this guy's face. I left it large and I kind of enhanced it a little bit. My favorite little program for doing this is called PicWish. Picwish. It's a free program you can find on the internet there. Take an old fuzzy photo and you can make it look just as good as this guy doesn't look. Anyways, authorities in Pennsylvania captured this guy, and they said he broke into a home and sexually assaulted a juvenile that was inside. This is Tyreek Collier, also known as Tyreek Jackson. He's a 28-year-old of Philly, and he was taken into custody on Tuesday. He's charged with rape, statutory sexual assault, burglary, and many more crimes, the court records show. The charges stem from a September 18th incident on the 3000 block of Cotman Avenue. At about 2:30 in the morning, authorities said a man broke into a home on that block, and after getting inside, they said he sexually assaulted a juvenile. That same man was seen trying residential doors in the immediate area of the burglary, and, they got him. Collier is now being held after failing to post $350,000 bond and is scheduled for an October 18th preliminary hearing, according to court documents. What a coincidence. It's my birthday. See ya, chomo. A Southern California man was arrested for the alleged sexual assault of a young child. The suspect was identified as David Dionisio Wolf, a 29-year-old, according to the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. On August 7th, deputies began investigating allegations of sexual assault involving a child under the age of 14, and then authorities later discovered the young boy was allegedly sexually assaulted on multiple occasions by Mr. Wolf. Further details, including how the boy knew the suspect, weren't released by the sheriff's office. And on September 24th, Wolf was arrested on charges of lewd and lascivious acts with a child, and he was booked into the High Desert Detention Center with no bond. See ya, Chomo.
Now get in there!
The Lake County State's Attorney's Office Cybercrimes Division and Special Investigations Division, with the assistance of the Lake County Sheriff's Office, arrested 18-year-old Johnny M. Stewart for allegedly possessing and disseminating child sexual abuse material. Investigators conducted an investigation after receiving a cyber tip that child sexual abuse material was being disseminated from Stewart's residence in the 1500 block of Lincoln Avenue in North Chicago. The Sheriff's Office also received the same cyber tip, and during a collaboration between both offices, investigators determined that Stewart was the perpetrator for both tips. In July of this year, the State's Attorney's Office and the Sheriff's Office executed a search warrant at Stewart's residence, and the Electronic Storage Detection Canine Grip, nice little puppy, assisted during the search and helped locate the electronic devices that he was hiding. The Cyber Lab conducted an analysis on the devices and discovered several hundred files of child sexual abuse material on Stewart's cell phone. Stewart had been charged with 3 counts of dissemination of child sexual abuse material, a Class X felony, as well as 8 counts of possession of child sexual abuse material, Class 2 felony. Stewart appeared at first appearance court this morning, and the State's Attorney's Office filed a petition to detain Stewart pending the disposition of the case. A detention hearing is scheduled for tomorrow, Friday, October 4th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And you can be sure to hear what happens here first on the Sex Offender Hit List. See ya, Chomo. Very disturbing story here. An Owatonna, Minnesota man will spend 3 decades in prison after pleading guilty to producing child sexual abuse material and threatening graphic violence against his victim's family. This is 31-year-old Michael Kurkowski. He already spent 5 months in a Pennsylvania jail back in 21 after being convicted of corruption of a minor and for sexually exploiting a boy there. I mean, come on, 5 months? Of course he's going to do something else again, right? Well, Kurkowski had traveled to Pennsylvania at that time to try and continue a relationship with a boy prior to his arrest and conviction. After his release, Kurkowski was placed on probation and ordered not to contact the victim. Like that's gonna happen too. Come on now, we know these kind of people. Because later that year, law enforcement began investigating Kurkowski's online communications regarding sexual exploitation of another minor. Investigators found several messages from Kurkowski describing in graphic detail his plan to travel to Pennsylvania, where he would murder the parents of the first victim, rape his sister, and then kill her in front of the boy. The following February, investigators learned Kurkowski bought a bus ticket to the Harrisburg, Pennsylvania area, where the first victim and his family lived. But FBI agents tracked Kurkowski down to a bus stop in Toledo, Ohio, where he was arrested. According to court records, Kurkowski had handcuffs, tape, a taser, a knife, rubber gloves, and face masks with him. His phone search had terms in it including man kills family of 5, countries that don't extradite to the United States, how to subdue a person, and the best knives to kill and murder. Unreal. Kurkowski pled guilty in February. Hope you spend every single day of that 30 years, you chomo. In February of this year, Kevin M. Fox, a 30-year-old from Madison, was arrested by the Madison Police Department for 2 counts of possession of child sexual abuse material after investigators received a cyber tip regarding Fox's online activities. As part of Fox's February 2024 arrest, investigators obtained warrants to search Fox's electronic devices. And then late last month here, a new investigation was opened into Fox after investigators discovered evidence of child sexual abuse. A warrant was granted for Fox's arrest out of the Jefferson County Superior Court, and on October 1st, Fox was apprehended in Bedford, Kentucky by the Kentucky State Police. Fox is currently housed in the Oldham County Detention Center where he awaits extradition to Jefferson County. Mr. Fox here was arrested on the following charges: 3 counts of child molestation, a level 1 felony, 3 counts of production of child sexual abuse material, a level 4 felony, and 5 counts of sexual misconduct with a minor. And he's sitting there on a $250,000 bond.
Yeah, my mother told me there'd be days like this.
Say, excuse me, Judge, how many times do I need to show these videos until people become aware?
Multiple times.
When a child experiences trauma, they can be stripped of their ability to imagine. But imagination is colors. All the colors. Imagination is freedom and whatever you want it to be. But a child without imagination is not a child at all. Will you help defend our right to imagine?